Tonight I'm going to be talking about Jumpstart, which is my 6-week program that I have starting on Monday. And I know probably a lot of people are starting their diet on Monday or Tuesday, I should say, probably. So the Jumpstart program is a 6-week program. It's a group program, and not really doing anything in there like to start with except for workouts. So the workouts are already going to be loaded in there and ready for the ladies to start working out if they want to work out on Monday or Tuesday. It depends on what day they want to work out on. So I know nobody wants to do anything on Monday, most likely, because it's a holiday. It's like the last gasp of summer. And I know when I had kids, it was a time to I still have kids. they're one's in college and one's out of college. So I just remember taking that time and just being like, oh my God, yes, they are in school. I finally have a little bit of time to myself, and then could sit and do, and that was like my exact MO was like, I am going to no more alcohol. I'm going to clean up all this junk. I'm going to meal prep like a boss. And that was the plan. So I would either plan that out on the Sunday before Labor Day weekend, or I would do it the day after, when the kids were in school. And then I would come up with this master plan of all the stuff that I was going to do, all the workouts that I was going to do, all the things that I was going to cut out of my diet, getting rid of the alcohol, and going hard and doing all this stuff. And so that's what I did every single Labor Day. And I have done that literally since my kids have been in school until a few years ago. So I know the cycle. I know the cycle because I was in that cycle for so long. And it's all well and good to come up with this plan, but it was so restrictive and so ambitious. I guess I want to say ambitious. I don't think it's ambitious to want to go to the gym 6 days a week, right? But so I just had all of these plans, had them all written out, and slowly, you get tired, or you miss a day, or you give up alcohol after drinking like a pirate, all summer long, and then it's time to give it up, and it's like, well, maybe you do good, and then it starts to creep back in. So all the habits start to creep back in, and then you get to, usually it's I don't know, Halloween. Yes, Halloween is the slippery slope, but I don't think I ever actually made it to Halloween. I know definitely my habits would start to creep back in probably 4 weeks in, and then by Halloween, so I call Halloween the slippery slope, because then the kids would bring in all this candy, and I'm like, I'm not going to have any of it. And then they're like, Mom, here's the Butterfingers that you love. And it's like, I do love those Butterfingers. And then you're like, well, just one. And then, so you have that. And then the next day it's like, well, all right, a couple. And then they're just calling for you. So, I was eating almost as much of that Halloween candy as, my kids were, for sure. So that's what I call the slippery slope, and then things start to get a little bit looser, and then you're like, all right, well, my birthday is November 8th, so it's like that. So my birthday just turns into a week. That's just the way it is. And then you have Thanksgiving is after that, and then you're like, well, it's Thanksgiving. There's no point in going back on a diet through the holidays, knowing that I can just do this process over on the 1st of January like everybody else does. So that was my cycle. So then I would start all over on January 1st and do that and follow that again for a couple of weeks. Well, I'd usually be pretty good until Valentine's Day, and then things would start to slip, but I was like, well, who cares, right? Because it's not even summer yet, and then kind of get back into the old habits, and then get really serious again, in May or June, to get ready for summer. And then you reach your goal for the summer, right? Maybe, or get close to it, and then it's summer. And so then you go and you just undo everything. And so that was literally my process for, 20 plus years, for decades I did that. So probably since I was 30. So, and I'm 53 now. So I know how it goes. And I know, like, come, after Labor Day, everybody's going to be, all right, that's it. Summer's over. Getting rid of the junk. No more alcohol. I'm going to start my, routine, get back into a routine. So I get it. And I do love September for that, because it's like a reboot. And so this is why I created Jumpstart. So that's my 6-week program. It is a group coaching program, and with that we are going to be tracking macros. So you're going to get your calorie recommendations. You're going to have a calorie goal to shoot for. You're going to shoot for some protein, carbs, and fats, and it doesn't have to be exact, right? It's just a goal. So that's what counting macros is. And by doing that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be increasing your protein, because most women are not eating enough protein. So right now, actually all the time, I have this Menopause Meltdown challenge. It's a 5-day free challenge, and you can get the info from the link in my bio. Also, if you want more info on Jumpstart. But that is a 5-day free challenge, and that is protein based, to show you that, well, maybe I'm not eating enough protein, right? So I give you the reasons why you should have protein, how to get in all that protein, and then some steps. You get my protein pancake recipe, you get a shopping list. So all that stuff is in that free 5-day challenge. But that's a great way to set yourself up for Jumpstart, because with Jumpstart, I'm going to be starting everybody at 100 grams of protein. Now, you need anywhere from 0.7 to 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I get in 150 grams of protein a day, but I didn't start out there like right when I first started tracking macros. So I started out at the lower end and then worked my way up, because it is a lot. Like when you first start incorporating it, you're like, whoa, this is a lot. So I'm getting 50 grams of protein per meal. With the 100 grams per meal per day, that's going to be 33 grams per meal. And then when you break it down like that, it's like, okay, it's a little bit more manageable. It's a little bit easier to think about. But if you're somebody that doesn't eat breakfast, then you're going to have a tough time, right? So now, instead of that 33 calorie goal, now you have 33 grams of protein goal. Now you're going to have 50 grams protein for lunch and for dinner. And that, my friends, is hard, because that looks like 8 ounces of chicken, 8 ounces of any kind of meat, right, is going to have 50 grams of protein. But 8 ounces of chicken is a lot. Like, I can eat an 8-ounce steak, but 8 ounces of chicken is just a lot. So there's strategies to come up with that number, but eliminating a complete meal is going to make it just that much harder. And plus, you need your energy for your day. So it doesn't really make sense to skip breakfast. That's like, you need your energy for during the day. So you're better off front loading your meals and having like a little bit of a lighter meal at the end of the day, rather than what the standard American diet is. Basically, it's like, or I should say the standard American woman diet, right? Where they're just having coffee in the morning and then a salad with maybe some chicken on there, and then dinner, and then maybe some wine, right? So there's nothing wrong with having that, but limiting your chances to get in that protein goal or to get in the calories is just going to make that much harder. And so this is why I do not promote intermittent fasting. It's just not a great idea for women that are in perimenopause or menopause. And I've done a couple of podcasts with it. I had a doctor on who isn't biased either way, but she had some pretty compelling evidence of why it's not beneficial for women to practice intermittent fasting. So you can go to the links here and listen to my podcast, Mastering Menopause podcast. My general topics are usually about 6 minutes long. Like, I don't have, it's not very long, but when I have guests on, it's going to be a little bit longer. And I have a fire guest tomorrow. So my podcast comes out Sunday night. So that's going to be a really good one. And I've had some really good guests on there as well. So check out my podcast. I also have a YouTube channel that has some videos of like how to get in protein, why strength training is beneficial for women, why the 1200 calorie diet sucks, why calories sucks, why cardio sucks for weight loss. So there's just, I have a lot of stuff out there. And so that's how you can find it, is just go to my bio if you want any more information. But so the Jumpstart program is a macros. I teach you all about macros. I give you the strategies to use MyFitnessPal and how you are going to be successful with weight loss in menopause. So, I talk about it all the time, but ladies, you're not eating enough protein and you're probably not eating enough calories to support your metabolism. And so that's a big part of it. Like half of the women that are in Jumpstart are going to be probably in a reverse dieting protocol. So, and I have done a couple podcasts about that as well. So there's a reason why when you're eating very low calories and ramping up your cardio, that stops working, especially in our 40s and 50s. And if you've done that for any amount of time, like you probably know for yourself, like all of a sudden it's like, why can't I lose this weight? I'm doing all the stuff that I used to do that used to work and it just stops working. Well, it's all due to hormones and metabolism. And so you just have to do something different. You just have to switch your training a little bit, and then you have to switch your diet and nutrition a little bit. And for a lot of people, that means probably eating more calories. Good. I know. I think some people are actually relieved when I say, hey, you don't have to do cardio to lose weight. And then other people just get pissed off. They're like, you're not taking my cardio from me. Right. So, hey, I was in that boat too. It was like, yeah, I was like, you have to do cardio to lose weight, right? I'm going to burn this, 500 calories, and then I'll be able to have my wine later on. And it just doesn't work like that, right? It seems like that if you burned 300 calories on the elliptical machine, that you would be able to eat that 300 calories. Or they say, it takes 500 calories to go into a deficit. So maybe you just burn off those calories. But what happens with cardio is it's just increasing the calories that your body needs. So you actually have to have more calories to support your metabolism, to support your body. So yes, you can have wine. So, everything that people think is working, it just doesn't happen like that, right? So people think that if they undereat and they go into a huge deficit, that they're going to lose all this weight. And it does work to an extent until it stops working. So like that Optavia diet, right? It's like 800 calories, and it's a terrible approach because you're going to stall out. There's no way. You're not going to be able to lose weight anymore because your body is fighting you tooth and nail to hold on to that. So whatever calories that it does get, it's going to store as fat. It's going to do your basic body functions, but that's when you start to feel like shit. Because you're driving down your hormones, you're driving your metabolism down, you're interfering with your hormones and the processes that happens there, and things start to not work right anymore because you're not giving it the things that your body needs, which is A, calories, and B, nutrition. So there's so much that goes into like having calories. It's not just about restricting so that you can lose weight. So what happens when you go into that deeper deficit, like 1,200 calories or below? Not a lot of women will need 1,200 calories to lose weight unless you are small, right? Then that might be appropriate for you. But what happens is your body is now holding on to the fat. And and people think like, if I don't eat, then my body is going to eat its own fat. That's bullshit. That's not what happens. So whatever calories it gets that it doesn't need for that daily process, it stores as fat because it needs it, right? And then what happens is it takes away from your muscle. So that's why over a period of time you see like, hey, like I used to have like a cute little butt, my boobs used to be up here, and then you lose that muscle definition. And that's because you're not eating enough for your metabolism, and so your body's like going to offload the muscle because it's like, well, if she's not going to feed us, then we don't need this muscle. So we're going to get rid of this because muscle on your body just burns more calories. It speeds up your metabolism. So your body's going to find a way to conserve, and that's what it does, is it takes away from your muscle and it doesn't eat its own fat. And so now it's storing the fat. So now you get this altered body composition. And usually not favorable, right? It's always not favorable. So you've now traded in your muscle for fat. And so whenever you go into a diet and then rebound, right? You go into a diet, if you're going too extreme with the calories, then you are going to lose muscle and fat and also some water weight. So, you hear these people, oh, I lost 20 pounds in 2 months by doing this, this diet program. It's not just fat loss. And so you do this extreme diet program and then you go back, you're off like, oh great, I lost 20 pounds. Then you go back to doing what you were doing. And guess what? The weight that comes on and then some, because your body is starved, that's all fat. So now, not only are you where you started from with maybe a little bit more weight, but you have less muscle and now you have more fat. And so you keep doing that process over and over, extreme dieting and then rebound, extreme dieting and rebound, and you're just putting more fat onto your body. So besides protein, do you up fiber too? So I don't specifically up fiber. I make sure that I'm getting it, but 25 grams of anywhere between 20 and 25 grams of fiber. So I don't necessarily, for Jumpstart, I'm not focusing on that. I do give them a fiber goal. So everybody has a fiber goal, a step goal, and a water goal. But the main focus is going to be on bringing that protein up and then just bringing the calories into a general range. And so that's a 6-week program. There are group coaching calls. So this is a group coaching program. The calls are Wednesday night at 9 p.m. and Saturday morning at 9 a.m. That's both EST. And that's the place where you're going to ask any questions that you have. There is a very lively Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook, that's all right. You don't have to be on Facebook. But there is a lot of information that goes in there. And so I'll pop a video in there every so often, hey, this is my breakfast. This is how you get 50 grams of protein. Hey, this is what I'm having for dinner tonight. This is how you get 50 grams of protein. I'll show how to prepare it. I have a super easy turkey saltimbocca recipe that I usually show in there. Literally, you can have dinner in 6 minutes, right? So I put that stuff into the Facebook group because I'm not going to send you an email every time I do a video, right? So you get, it's an email course for, the first week is going to be front loaded with some information. And then there's also mindset prompts each week. And then there's a different topic each week. So that's going to be covered on the calls, but then the information is going to come to you via email. So there's a lot of information that goes into Facebook, but it's extra information. But people find it helpful and they actually make friends with each other in there. They're following each other on MyFitnessPal, which is kind of cool because they can see when you see other people's ideas, what they're having and oh, what are the calorie counts on that? What is the protein on that, right? It's oh, damn, I didn't think about that. Somebody was eating chocolate fudgesicles, right? And they were only 40 calories. So a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon. So it's not about deprivation or taking foods away. It's definitely increasing protein, but then how are we going to fill in the rest of those calories, right? If you want a glass of wine, have a glass of wine. If you want chocolate or whatever your jam is, right? Fire Cheetos, whatever it is, you can have it. Obviously, I would want people to focus on 80% whole foods and then 20% where you're going to work in the foods that you enjoy. And every day, right? Not just save it for the weekends, right? Every single day you should be having something that you look forward to and something that you enjoy. Something that isn't necessarily the most healthy thing. So that's my approach, and it's just so much more sustainable and enjoyable because you're not taking anything away. So you're not having that restrictive mindset. By increasing protein, you are actually going to be pretty satiated throughout the day. So you're not actually going to be wanting those snacks because that is going to increase your satiety factor. So that's a big benefit of bringing on more protein. And then also workouts. So I also deliver 3 days a week full body workouts. This is in an app called True Coach. So you just take the app with you either to your gym at home or to the gym, and it will show a quick little video, 20 to 30 seconds, on what that exercise looks like. It's 3 days a week. The longest workout is 45 minutes. The shortest one can be done in about 30 minutes. They're both that can be done at home or in the gym. There's the different options to do both of those. And that's really all that you need to do. You don't need to do cardio. I do recommend getting in a daily activity, some kind of steps, something like that. So that's what I find works when you're in menopause. If you are somebody who is more advanced working out, so you could definitely go to 4 to 5 days a week strength training. But I find that a lot of people are kind of hesitant to do any kind of strength training, and you're really missing out on the benefits of increasing your metabolism, increasing the muscle in your body, and just be able to eat more calories, right? If you're having all this protein, give that protein a job to do. You need the amino acids in the different types of protein. So I definitely wouldn't recommend, hey, I'm starting everybody at 100 grams of protein, and you're like, cool, I'll have 3 Premier Protein shakes, right? And that'll give me 90 grams of protein. That it doesn't work like that. So definitely you can supplement with a protein shake. I actually don't recommend Premier Protein, and the reason why is the ingredients list is like this long, and 2 of them are generally going to cause digestive disruption. So inulin is a ingredient that is found in Premier Protein. I forget what the other one is, but it is not good for the gut. It will tear you up. So there's some other ones out there. I have Quest. That's the one that I use a lot, but I also use Orgain protein powder as well. So this does have a sweetener in it. It has stevia and sucralose. So not some people can't tolerate sucralose. This makes it pretty sweet. So this is more like a dessert, which is probably why I like it. And then there's chocolate, and then there's also salted caramel. So I think this one has 24 grams of protein. The chocolate one has 22, and the salted caramel has 26. And they have these in ready-mades as well. And then Orgain, which I am out of, but that one's a good one. That's more of a like a cleaner option. And then for my vegetarians, my pants came untied. So for my vegetarians, I have a meal builder template that I send to everybody, but there's also a vegetarian meal builder template as well. You have to be a little bit more creative when you are a vegetarian getting in your protein. You have to do your homework. I find that a lot of vegetarians are like carbitarians because they've eliminated that food group for whatever reasons that they have, and now options are very limited. Yes, there's protein in eggs, but each egg only has like 6 grams of protein, and a lot of people are tossing the yolk. Well, half the protein is in that yolk, so it would take a lot of egg whites to make up what you would get in one whole egg. So it's just a matter of just kind of thinking, just change your thinking a little bit about this whole calories in, calories out. It just doesn't work, right? You can't just slash your calories and then up your cardio like we used to when we were in our 20s and 30s. Like, it just doesn't work anymore, and that's because of hormones and metabolism. So you have to work with your hormones, work with your metabolism, bringing on nutrition to help with hormones and metabolism. That's why the big focus on the protein, and then 80% whole foods. That doesn't mean that you can't have the foods that you like, right? Yes, you can have wine, you can have chocolate. Maybe not as much as you want if you're trying to lose weight. But also, I feel like women are always on a diet, right? So I think that leads to that on, off. It's restricting and binging kind of things. Like, so everybody's going to be like, oh, I'm on a diet, right? That starts like in September. And then when you go off hard because you restricted too much with that diet. You went too hard and too low on that, and so then the needle swings the other way. So I'm trying to change that way of thinking about dieting and make it more of a moderate calorie deficit, right? Something a little bit more moderate so that you can enjoy more calories and it's not this like restrictive state. The weight loss that is going to happen when you are incorporating strength training and bringing up the protein is going to be more fat focused rather than losing your muscle. So that is why we're focusing on the weight training, because we don't want to lose that muscle. And again, like I said earlier, when you go into those aggressive calorie deficits, you're going to be losing fat and muscle, and we definitely don't want to do that. So as we are going through the fat loss phase, by increasing muscle, you're actually going to have something, right? The skin's not going to be hanging there, right? You're going to have something to replace it with. So fat takes up more body on your frame than muscle does. So a pound of fat weighs the same as a pound of muscle, except that a pound of fat, so just imagine like a pound of hamburger meat, right? So that's like, this big. And then imagine like a chicken breast instead. So like that's the difference between a fat and then chicken. So this one is kind of big and fluffy, whereas the muscle is going to be a little bit tighter. So the pound is still the pound, it just takes up less room. So what things do I need to have on hand before the plan starts next week? So, hey girl. So you're going to get all that information on Sunday, definitely. Like start looking up some protein sources, and you're actually not going to get the, I'm so excited. So Kelly's she's enrolled in this round of Jumpstart. So the process is you're going to get you're going to get an email. I'm probably going to send out a little blast tomorrow on like my FitnessPal, how to do that. But you're going to get like a whole library of like all the videos that I've done that will support like what's going on with the process. And you'll need to have my FitnessPal. And then you're going to get your calorie recommendations, macro recommendations on Thursday. So you don't really do anything. I know I'm pumped. You don't really do anything until Thursday when you get your calorie recommendations. But spoiler alert, everybody is going to be at 100 grams of protein. So what happens is I'm going to be looking at your MyFitnessPal. I have access to your MyFitnessPal diary, and you're going to be sending me a screenshot of your last week's average. So with that, I can look and say, hey, all right, so she is eating, a certain amount of calories, and like, holy shit, look at her. She's getting in 130 grams of protein. So now I'm going to recommend for that person to go towards their goal, right? So the goal is going to be more towards 1.0 grams per pound of body weight. And those calculations are general. So like if you are like say 170 pounds or more, I'm not going to recommend that you have 170 grams of protein. You'd be on the lower end. So I would say tap out around 150, 160. So again, if somebody's already has a higher protein, they're already doing pretty well, then I'm going to push them to go all the way, because that is where they're going to get their best results. But when I see women, which is the norm, which is the usual, they're around 80 grams of protein, maybe 60 grams of protein. They're not eating breakfast, so it's really hard to get that in. So that is a little bit of a struggle. So for some people, 100 grams of protein is hard. So, I am here to support that all the way. And then there's some people that have already been through that are rolling over. So they've been in there's 2 girls that have been in the past 2. So they're in the Facebook group. They're super active, and they are helpful like on the calls and stuff with like ideas. I always share my same ideas, but it's always the same thing. So it's nice to see like somebody else sharing their ideas. So basically, you're just going to be working on protein to start, and you will need dumbbells and the bands, like elastic bands that have the handles, the resistance tubing with the handles. And I know Amazon, I just ordered some, and they're coming, it was 2 days, and they're $20. So if you don't have the resistance bands, you'll need those. And that's basically it. So everybody fills out an intake form, and that way I know what days they want to work out. I know what injuries they have, so that I can work the workouts around those injuries and make some substitutions. And then the workouts will be waiting for you either Monday morning or Tuesday, depending on when you say that you want to work out. So everybody's going to be getting their invitation from True Coach, whoever's already registered, by Sunday. I'll do that. You know what? Maybe I'll do that on Saturday. I think I'll do that on Saturday because I kind of want to take off Sunday, but Sunday night will be the massive email, and then everybody else will get their workouts in. So Monday morning is going to be a day for me. So if you go to the link in my bio, right over here, it says like bit.ly Kathy Catalyst. That is where you're going to find the link for Jumpstart, and for Instagram, and for Facebook, and for my Mastering Menopause podcast, and for my YouTube videos. So I'm excited to get everybody started. Thursday is going to be a day. So that's when no, thank you. Thursday is going to be a day because that's when I look at my FitnessPal dieters. I look at those screenshots. I calculate. I use the Precision Nutrition, the professional calculator. So that does a little bit more than what you would have access to if you looked up Precision Nutrition calculator. So this is going to get me maintenance calories. And maintenance calories are important to know because that takes into account your age, your height, your weight, your sex, and the activity that you're doing. So that's going to spit out this big number. Right? So for me, my maintenance is 2,000 calories. That's what I will maintain my weight on. And a lot of people have those higher calorie ranges. So it could be anywhere from 1,700 to 2,500 calories for women. It depends on what you're doing for activity and, how tall you are, how heavy you are. So, that is a factor. And then I look at what you're having for calories now. Now, the unfortunate thing is if you are supposed to be having 2,000 calories to maintain your weight, but you're only eating 1,000 calories, now we have to be in a reverse diet protocol. And that is going to take a while to get you up to closer to your maintenance calories before I can put you in a deficit. So if you're eating very low calories right now, I am not going to put you into a lower calorie deficit. We got to build up your metabolism back so that it's going to be ready for a fat loss phase. So that's called the diet before the diet. It's like training for a marathon. If you're going to do a fat loss phase, you need to be ready for it. And that's preparing the body and making sure that you have your hormones and your metabolism are in the right place. Eating very low calories is not an optimal place to start from. So we got to get you right in the training mode. That's it's called the diet before the diet. It's called a reverse diet protocol. And I have YouTube videos and a podcast about that. I have quite a few podcasts on that because a lot of people, unfortunately, are in this situation. So, right now, Julie, I have 32 right now. So it's getting full, and I would expect it to be full by Sunday. So yeah, I'm gonna have to shut it down. Probably on Sunday night. We'll see, because people are like. And it's weird too because it's a holiday weekend, so I don't think people are thinking about it. And I just have a feeling like I'm going to have like all these emails on Monday. Wait, I want to do this. Like I want to get in. So, we'll see. The next round is in 6 weeks. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it off at some point. So, But in the meantime, right, you can definitely do the 5-day Menopause Meltdown Challenge. That's in my link as well. That is free, and that's just that protein challenge to see like, it kind of will make you aware of like how much protein am I getting, and give you the recommendations, and then you can kind of see for yourself. It was like, oh yeah, I'm probably not eating enough protein. So I'm very excited for the group program. I love connecting with everybody, seeing your little faces on Zoom calls, and then answering the questions. I will be honest, at the first 3 weeks is like this protein, like everybody's just, their minds are blown. They're like, oh my God, right? That's only with 100 grams of protein, right? So for me, it's easy because I've been doing it for a while, but I remember when it wasn't so easy. So I get it. It's just a matter of just sticking with it, and obviously ideas too. So I don't expect, I don't think anybody's going to be successful if they're going to just force themselves to eat. Like I say, like a tuna, I always have a tuna bacon melt. So can of tuna with a little bit of light mayo. I put bacon and cheese on it, and put it in this high fiber, like high protein wrap. So that's like 50 grams of protein. So for me, like that's a no-brainer. That's like what I have for lunch 2 to 3 days a week. But somebody would be like, well, I don't like tuna, or I don't like this, or I don't like that, right? So I don't expect you to have foods that you don't enjoy, because that is not the way to get in those protein needs. Find the foods that you like. And so this is a process. It's a shift in lifestyle, and that takes time. And you're going to be resistant at first. You're going to be like, this sucks. So that's what I'm there for. I'm there for the support, and just know that it does get easier. Of course, anytime you do anything different, it's going to be hard. It's just like riding a bike, right? It's just hard to do that. So is most of the protein animal protein? I don't know. Like I recommend that if you do not eat animal protein, right, you're going to have to do a little bit of homework and find some more sources. Are you in the Menopause Meltdown Challenge too? Wait, have I seen? Yeah, I'm doing a lot this week, so it's like, it's a game changer. It really is. So it takes a little bit, but what happens when you bring on more protein, right? There's amino acids that are in proteins, right? And so those are going to get shuttled to your muscles. With carbohydrates, that is just energy. All right, cool. What's the highest you've gotten so far, Kelly? Protein per day. So that gets shuttled to your muscles to build and repair. But if you're not weight training, right, then it's like, it's still going to the muscles, but it doesn't have that job to repair. So there's a process that happens when you are weight training and then adding that protein in. And I totally blame my fitness pal for this. Yeah, awesome. Way to go. So what happens is when you go to my fitness pal, it's going to recommend 20% protein, 50% carbs, 30% fat. And the only thing that I agree with is the 30% fat. But also people are saying that they want to lose 2 pounds per week. And so that puts them down into 1,200 calories. So that is just not enough. And I know we want everything like today, like now, right? But you need to be patient if you want sustainable weight loss and get to a point where you're done dieting. You don't have to diet anymore, So, all right, off topic. So bring in the protein. When you bring your protein levels up closer to 0.7 to 1.0 grams per pound of body weight, you're going to burn 80 to 100 calories more just by digesting protein. So that is a huge ass benefit. You don't have to do anything. You could just sit on your couch and burn an extra 80 to 100 calories by having that protein on, especially if you are weight training. And so what we're doing is we're displacing the carbs, right? You don't need 50% of your calories from carbs. Whatever you're not using is just getting stored. And so we're going to flip it up. And so bring protein up, bring carbs down, and keep fat, because you need the fats for your hormones and for your mobility and to feel good, and also cognitive. Like, it's so important for your brain. So that's why, I don't want to do a low-fat diet. These pants are kind of weird. I just got them. So that is the benefit of bringing on the protein. And a lot of people are like, this is too much. It's just because they're used to like going into, you go to your pantry and it is loaded with all these options, popcorn, you got chips, you got all the stuff that's in there, cookies, you have that. And then it's so fast, they digest so fast that, you're hungry later. So I get the whole, this is just hard to do. It's also not as readily available either. So, you kind of have to plan it, but boiled eggs are a great snack. Beef jerky is a great snack of protein on the go. Cheese sticks, I love cheese sticks, or deli meat roll-ups, things like that. So you can there are snack options, but you have to buy them. You have to make sure that they're there, and they're usually perishable. So protein sources that, again, a protein powder is a great way to supplement and to take, 25 grams off of that 100 grams of protein is a great way. So anyways, what time is it? Yeah. All right. I am getting up early to go to the gym tomorrow, start this holiday weekend. I hope you all have a safe Labor Day weekend. If you want more details on Jumpstart, the link is in my bio. That's going to give you more details. It's going to give you the exact times for the Zoom calls. You're going to get that 3 days a week full body strength training program. You'll need dumbbells and the resistance bands for that. And all you need to start, with the diet part, is to just start logging into MyFitnessPal and just getting familiar with that if you're not. You too, Kelly. And that's it. And it's a game changer. If you go to my Instagram, if you go to my Facebook, there are some testimonials in there from women, and then see what they think of the process. So I am definitely proud to bring this to everyone. It's also a cheaper way to work with me. My one-on-one pricing is going to be obviously a little bit more, and but people are still getting the results in Jumpstart. So I totally stand behind that program, and a lot of women are rolling over into multiple rounds, and some found that they weren't getting the biggest benefit from a group program and they just wanted more one-on-one attention. So I have moved a couple of them into one-on-one coaching, and that's just what they found worked better for them. So, it's about being aware of the calories that you're having, where those calories are coming from. That's the whole point of tracking macros, and then having those goals. And, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm not looking for perfection. We're just, to be honest, the first couple weeks is going to be a shit show, and I totally expect that. So that's just the way it goes. It's not wasted time. It's learning. It's it's incorporating a new process. And, if you're somebody that's just this is just too hard, it's just because it's different. So if you give up every time something gets hard, then things just don't ever stick. And so it's not going to stick for you. So then you go back to your default, which is what you're doing now, so it's time for something different. So let's go. So I will see you on Sunday night. I'll be back here at 9 o'clock Sunday night. Maybe I'll come a little bit earlier, maybe 8:30. I'll post it either way.